Gotta situate this little guy. Hold on. Hi. So this is a kind of video I haven't done in like a real hot second. It's a favorites video, if you couldn't tell by the title and why you probably clicked in the first place. I also don't have a mic, so if you can hear window noises, then you can hear window noises. Window noises meaning outside sounds. Windows don't make noises. Anyway, I forgot to talk on camera. That's fine. I have a whole list of things here that I've been enjoying this month that I wanted to share because I think I have good taste. You might disagree. That's fine. But I got things I like and I wanted to talk about them, so I'm gonna do that. I'm also wearing like the most god-awful outfit today, but I love it. It's great. If you're wondering where I got this, it's from Lazy Oaf. I love them. I think they're a great company. And I would highly recommend their stuff. I think everything's super high quality and really quirky and fun. Anyway, this is not a favorite. I just wanted to talk about it because I like it, and this is only like the second time I've worn it, even though I've owned it for a while. I just decided to put it on, and it was a really good decision. I wanted to start off with music first because I feel like people kind of like, excuse my language, but jack themselves off the most about their music taste. So people click into these sorts of things to be like, are they listening to what I'm listening to? At least that's what I do. Maybe that's like a personal thing. Whatever, I'm starting off with music. I'm also getting sick. And I think I have a zit on my chin. First choice here is, if anybody's been following me for an extended period of time, you'd know that big Marina and the Diamonds fan, now shortened to just Marina, which I think is a goddamn shame. The first pick on my list is her new single, Handmade Heaven. I think it's not quite what I was expecting or wanting, but I'm glad that we got it anyway. It's really fun to have like a new in-between, like a banger and a ballad from Marina, because she does those really well, and I think it's what made like the enjoyable parts of Fruit enjoyable. I didn't love Fruit, sorry. I'm more of an Electra Heart kind of gal, but I think this was a good medium between people who like Electra Heart and people who like Fruit. And it gives me hope for the new album, because Baby was fine. It was good for the collab that it was, but I think when I go to Marina, this Handmade Heaven is more what I'm looking for, so I think it's a good lead single for the album. Next recommendation is a little bit more silly, a little bit edgier. Still pop though, all my recommendations are. And it's Mine by Slater. If you spend a lot of time on Twitter, specifically like pop Twitter, you'd probably hear a lot about Slater recently. She's really taken off online. She's got quite the little following, little community. I think she's great. I grew up in a period where, specifically like middle school, everybody was really into like The Hills and Lady Gaga and like fame as a culture and fame as a concept, and she really takes those concepts and she plays with them. She makes them fun and sexy and silly, and I think it's just the most bubblegum fun that I've had in a long time with music, so I love it. This new track is really like groovy. It makes you like feel like you're on a catwalk, like strutting, and it came out for Valentine's Day, which I think is really cool. Like the cover art and everything has like little candy hearts on it. Some of her releases in the past have been like themed to holidays. If you're into like Charlie XCX or like Sophie, I think you'd really get a kick out of this. The production's really fun and unique. It's not as clean as like Charlie or Sophie because obviously she's not on that level yet. She doesn't have like the resources to hire producers like that, but it's so fun and so good. I like Slater. I would recommend her if you're into like trashy fun pop music. And my last recommendation, which is like kind of a half-ass recommendation because like everybody's probably listened to it, and if you're not gonna listen to it, then you're probably not gonna listen to it by now. But Thank You Next I think is really good. I didn't love the title track. I thought it was like fine. I think it's got a good message. I didn't love Thank You Next as like a song I put on and listened to for fun. Seven Rings took some time to grow on me, but once I actually listened to the lyrics and realized it was like super depressing, loved it. But I think every other song on the album is like really good. I like Bloodline a lot. I like Ghostin'. I think that's really a unique track in her discography, and really heartbreaking. What else did I like? Oh, NASA's fun. That has like a really catchy chorus, half chorus, I guess. Yeah, I think the production on her albums is consistently like really stellar, and really different for mainstream pop music. So I'm glad she's getting attention now, even if I will concede she like has a lot of things she could be working on as a person specifically. I don't recommend looking up to her as a person. I do like her music. I do think it's really good. I think it's a standout for pop music right now. And yeah, if that sounds like something that you haven't checked out yet, then maybe you should do it, I guess. Anyway, I wanted to move on to movies. If you do not know, I'm a film student, so the movies I recommend will not always be current. Sometimes they'll be things I watched in class, sometimes they'll be things that I just watched that I feel like I should be catching up on, and movies that I feel like people don't recommend to others unless they're in film school. So if you're not a film student, you'll probably not have heard of some of these, and I think that's fun. My first recommendation is a new top 5 favorite. It's called Cleo from 5 to 7. It is a French New Wave film from 1962, and it was just the most glorious thing I've ever seen in my life. It was something I really needed at this point in my life, and I keep thinking about it day to day. Basically, the plot is, according to Letterboxd, good old Letterboxd, Paris in the 60s with a real-time portrait of a singer set adrift in the city as she awaits test results of a biopsy. So basically, it's this woman who has just received a decent amount of success with her singing career, who puts a lot of emphasis on youth and beauty by herself and from others. There's a lot of pressure for her to be consistently beautiful and consistently perfect in a lot of ways. She is worried that she's dying. The film takes place in the 2 hours before she receives the test results. She receives the test results at the end. It explores, you know, dying. It explores aging. It explores not being perfect from a explicitly feminine perspective, the female perspective, in a way that I found really relatable and interesting. Because I think people who identify really strongly with like femininity, like I do, really do feel like a huge pressure to like be beautiful all the time. And there is like a really deep-seated fear of like aging and not being beautiful that, I mean, I'm only 20, so I shouldn't be worrying, but it was on my mind because I'm like turning 21 this year, and it was like a whole new year, and I was like going through personal stuff. But anyway, it came in at a time that I appreciated. Just to like know that other people feel the same way, expressed in a way that I felt was really eloquent and well done. My other recommendation is one that's a lot more recent and that I'm sure some people watching this have seen. It is a foreign film, but it received a good deal of critical and commercial attention. It's called A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. It is without spoiling it, it's a horror film that focuses on a girl who walks home alone at night and a guy she meets along the way. I guess you could call it like a horror romance. That's kind of an interesting way to put it. The main female character is like super cool. So yeah, if that's the kind of thing you're into, go for it. It's on Canopy. Both films are on Canopy, so to solve the problem of not having Canopy, just go get a library card. It solves all your problems, and it's a great thing to do. Alright, moving on from film to TV, both are Netflix shows that I'm recommending right now. The first one is Russian Doll, which I think a lot of people are watching, but I just finished it like the other day, and it was so interesting. It was really not what I was expecting. The little advertisement that came up on Netflix when the show first came out, like, does not prepare you at all for what's about to happen. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Maniac, which came out like a couple months ago, which is probably my favorite Netflix series that's come out so far. I thought that was absolutely fantastic. This was not as good as Maniac, but it felt like Maniac kind of like in a more personal setting. I felt like I got to know these characters a little bit better than the ones I did in Maniac. It does also focus on a man and a woman, just as Maniac did, but have a special connection. Yeah, it kind of explores ideas of, once again, death. I guess that's a theme this month. Okay. Death and, like, childhood trauma, stuff that is heavy, but also handled in, like, a really comedic way. Like, it's a really funny show. I know that Amy Poehler's the producer on the show, so if that tells you anything, would recommend that. And my other one, a series that's a little bit longer and that I myself have not finished yet, but I'm really enjoying, is Umbrella Academy. I'm 2 episodes in. My boyfriend and I have been watching it. If you're a My Chemical Romance fan, I'm sure you already know about this because Gerard Way wrote the comic series that the show's based on. And I say based on, it's not the same plotline as the comics. I don't know what's gonna happen. I think that's nice because then I'm not expecting things as I go along and I can watch it as, you know, someone with fresh eyes, just as another person would who hadn't had that background. I know a lot of people have been watching it that aren't into Gerard Way or aren't into comics, so would totally recommend to anybody who's interested in like superhero shows. It's a super fun like ensemble family drama comedy. I think a lot of people could get a lot of enjoyment out of it that aren't My Chemical Romance fans or comic fans, because it's just funny and charming. If you're into superheroes and like we're into the Marvel shows maybe on Netflix that are all getting canceled now, I think that's a good placeholder. Moving on to books. I only have one. I have not been doing a lot of reading. Which is unfortunate, but I'm in school and I have other things to read. What I've been reading is called Baba Yaga. About halfway, a little less than halfway actually. I've not been doing a lot of reading. But to keep on with the Paris theme from Cleo, its tagline is a novel of witches in Paris. And that's all I had to read to pick up the book and buy it. Yeah, it's got witchcraft, it's got Paris, it's got romance, it's got murder. If you're into like fun girly mystery novels, do it. Alright, moving on to makeup and fashion, which is my last category. My makeup recommendation this month is something that a lot of people already have, but I have just discovered, and I think it's a fun little invention, and that is the Fenty Beauty Highlighter. Look at that. Isn't that just fantastic? It's like glitter. Ooh, let's wait for that to focus. But it's so glittery and sparkly, and it's never gonna focus, and that's okay. I got it in the color Confetti, which is like a white-ish, like vanilla purple, if that's a color. Yeah, I love how it makes my face look dewy and fresh, as well as like a little sparkly and silly. I'd never used highlighter before. Oops. So this was a fun, like, first foray into that whole experience. Really enjoyable. And they've got a lot of different colors to suit different skin tones, different kinds of color palettes. So yeah, you don't even have to get this color. You can do anything. She has everything. She being Rihanna. Love her. And my last thing I'm recommending is a fashion thing that's really niche and I don't expect everybody to go out and buy, but I'm just gonna recommend it anyway. And it is the 1975's merch. It's really high quality and soft. I appreciate that they try to make it more into a fashion line than just a merch line. I know that they go out of their way to make it look like streetwear as opposed to merch, which I appreciate because I think a lot of merch is really god-awful ugly. So I haven't been buying a lot of it recently. But this is different. Like, you've got just the classic 1975 on the front, and on the back they give me an excuse to wear the phrase, "Poison me, daddy." So I just got the white shirt with the black. They've got this in all different colors. If you're into just a nice, subtle piece of merch that feels soft to the touch, I would recommend it. I also got it with a like a manifesto, like a bunch of fun photographs in it, some art, cool stuff. Came with a CD too. CD I already had, so I gave it to my mom, but still, if you don't have the CD, you can get it with a CD. So that's all I have left to recommend for you today. That's my monthly favorites, and I guess I'll see you in the next one of these. I had a lot of fun filming this. This was so nice. I like to talk about things I like. I like you, if you're watching this, and I will see you in the next one.